Welcome back. Now, 2 persons sustained injuries in an accident involving 15 vehicles at Accra New Town. Some shops along the stretch were also destroyed.
The accident reportedly occurred at 12:30 Monday afternoon. A trailer which was transporting beans from Ivory Coast to the Nima market failed brake and grazed 15 other vehicles while descending the hilly road at Commandos at Accra New Town. 3 other vehicles were mangled beyond repairs while the rest were partly damaged. Although there was no fatality, 2 persons occupying this damaged vehicle sustained severe injury and were both sent to the hospital. Wares displayed in front of some shops along the stretch were also destroyed. The Nima Divisional Police Commander Chief Superintendent Abraham Kwe was at the scene.
From the initial or the preliminary investigations, I understand the car was parked on that hill. So when he decided to move, he just lost concentration. I think he had a brake burst. So it was able to pull along several of the vehicles that were in front of him, and then finally it ended up here.
Driver of the trailer, who told the news team he could not avoid the accident, has since been detained at the Nima police station.
And the team from the National Road Safety Commission and the Police Motor Transport and Traffic Department (MTTD) has visited the accident scene and the injured involved in Sunday's gory accident between the Winneba and the Palm stretch of the Cape Coast Highway. The delegation was led by May Obriyeboah, Executive Director of the National Road Safety Commission, and DSP Emmanuel Edubuahene from the Police MTTD headquarters. 15 people, 12 females and 3 males have so far been confirmed dead in the accident. Most of the victims were trapped after a Sprinter bus collided with an articulated truck that was trying to avoid running into the back of a Ford vehicle that had moved into the lane in the evening. Meanwhile, the Executive Director of the National Road Safety Commission, May Obriyeboah, is calling for support to help take care of the cost of treating the injured in that accident. She, together with the Winneba Hospital Administrator and the DSP from Police MTTD headquarters, also advised road users to exercise caution while on the road.
From those who survived the accident, there seems to be recklessness on the part of the drivers. So my advice is, when they are driving, they must be cautious, take care of what they are doing, and know that they have human beings, and a life once lost can never be regained.
Being very careful on our road, especially if you want to do a wrong an overtaking, to be sure that the other lane is very clear and you can overtake, because this was a very long vehicle. So if you are overtaking, there should be enough room ahead of you so that you can be able to get, far away from me before you get into the lane. But unfortunately, I think there was some kind of wrong calculation. We are hopeful that all of us will learn from some of these mistakes. As a commission, together with the police, we would also do our investigations to see, and then it will help us address some of the issues, interviewing some of the victims. I think one of the things they are calling on us as a commission to help them with their hospital bills. And I want to use this forum to appeal to everybody, the MP for this area, this constituency, corporate Ghana, to come to their aid. Because, a crash or an accident, you have not prepared yourself, and then you find yourself, the hospital will need some drugs for them, but they don't have it.
We need to be careful the way we drive. Especially this accident, to me, it could easily be avoided if care was to be taken. Within 1 week, about 19 people going. It's a very huge cost, because we are all talking about the development of our human resource. So if the human beings that we are trying to develop them are all losing their lives, then where are we heading towards?
Right, so let's take you through some of the statistics, accident statistics in the country between the year 2015 and 2016. In 2015, there were over 16,000 vehicles involved in 10,000 or more crashes recorded in that year. Out of this number, 1,634 people died against 1,856 the previous year, 2014. And then still the statistics were the statistics here we have. In that same year, there were over 9,000 injuries recorded against 11,000, over 11,000 in the previous year. This formed a 17.5% decrease in reported road accidents from January to December of 2015 compared to the same period in 2014. Now, let's take a look at 2016 figures. In 2016, so we had a total of 12,510 reported accident cases involving over 19,000 vehicles. Now, out of this, 8,500 were private vehicles and 8,013 commercial, 113 commercial vehicles, and 2,820 motorcycles involved in the accident for 2016. More statistics for 2016, 2,198 persons were killed in road accidents that year, and the number of children 286 in 2015 to 401 in 2016. So children who died in 2016, 401. And averagely, nearly 183 people were killed every month in 2016. Right, so very, very sad statistics we've shown you there. Let's quickly get to the studio. I have DSP Alex Obing, who is Director of Research and Training of Police MTTD. And then next to him, I have Mr. Cecil Gabra, who is a transport consultant. Gentlemen, good evening and thank you very much for your time. Let me start with you, Mr. Gabra. These statistics we've seen are pretty worrying. I mean, the number of children dying, the number of males dying, and the number of females, although it's expected to be a reduction of 17.5% of the previous year. 2016 was very terrible. So what is accounting for these, what I could call reckless loss of lives on the road?
Thank you very much. We always talk about the road and engineering factors, but then the real situation is the human factors, okay? If we have about 90% of accidents that are caused by human factors, then it means that Ghana is not doing so well at all. And I'm so straight to my point that politicians are so quiet, but if you look at goods and services that are transported in this country,
politicians are too quiet.
Nobody's talking about.
This should be a political issue that we should discuss on
precisely
political platforms.
Precisely so. It should be everywhere. Right? Nobody is talking about road accidents. We recently had, I think, one former minister, former MP who crashed and died. We'll talk about it within 2-3 days, and it's died out. What are we doing about it? We need that pragmatic efforts to solve this situation now, and it's all human factors. All the accidents that we see can't be avoided. Okay. What are we doing? We always talk about it, but nothing is being done in this country. I think this is the time that we need that enforcement, which is one of the E's. In road safety, we have engineering of the roads, we have enforcement, we have emergency services, as well as education. If you put all this together, then that means that we have a good road safety system. But if you look at it again, you will notice that the enforcement is so weak. My brother here will tell me. The fact it is weak because we have few men with a MTTD, and if we have few men, what am I looking at? Now I am calling for another force. So many years ago, I think about 9 years ago, we had even the military assistant, the police to curb road accidents. Look, in Chi, we say driver anasu yedin. That is what we need. You can educate the driver, educate the pedestrian, but immediately they go back on the road, they will start misbehaving. So we need the force. Now, we really need the force, and I am calling for at least the military police to assist the Ghana police I'm talking about assisting the MTTD. My beef is also on the so-called visibility police. I mean, what are they doing? They don't know anything about road safety. We put them on the road, waste money on fuel, and they are on phones talking. Every time you see them, they are on phones talking. What are their use? We need to move this country forward now, and that will curb the road accidents. If we have MTTD officials on the road, checking documents and so on, checking drivers, misbehaving, being recalcitrant, that alone will solve part of the problem. The other problem is the so-called national security and so on must be looked at. I'm saying so-called because some of them just put on their hazard lights in the middle of the road, drive, misbehaving, drive on the shoulders. Where are they going to? We're all sharing the road. Road safety is supposed to be a situation where we all share the road. It is not for one person. Right. Nobody controls the road.
Gabra, so let me hear from DSP Obeng. DSP Obeng, Mr. Gabra is suggesting that enforcement is weak. And I'm not sure we'll argue about that, but the strength of the police force and the military in dealing with enforcing driving regulations and enforcing strict adherence to driving rules and traffic bylaws. Is the police falling back?
Okay, let me first of all wish the bereaved families and sympathize with them for the loss of their loved ones since we introduced vehicle into our system, and in particular this year where we've lost 426 as at 11th March. That is just over the weekend. And we also wish those who are recovering from injuries. We have about 2,523 this year with them speedy recovery. I think in this discourse, what my colleague, Mr. Graba, have said is not far from the truth. Because this is science. You can change it. And people are doing it and they are benefiting that. You can have all the 4 E's working and you benefit holistically. And if there is a disconnect of one, particularly with regard to enforcement, which seeks to deter, which seeks to instill sort of fear of apprehension that will also promote compliance with the rule of law by road users naturally. If you don't have these systems in place, particularly stringent enforcement, all education you are doing becomes a mere entertainment. And it is a claim that police deployment seeks to reduce road crashes by half. And therefore, whatever that
so
it takes,
fair to say that the police is not deploying enough
whatever
men
that
and
it takes,
women?
because it's our public notice that police have scaled down on this enforcement. It is a public notice and it's not new. And we hope that very soon, as Inspector General of Police has promised, we will see a new traffic police deployed all over, partnering with other EEs to put pressure on them. But whatever it is, we can also not forget that there are certain fundamental issues that we need to also resolve. Because we need to move away from the physical police presence, the traditional traffic policing on the road, and look at the system approach. That, for example, why since independence we have over-relied on the road alone, whilst the state have sat back and the state have been very lazy in diversifying the paradigm shift in terms of
developing real efficiency
and all those things. Why do you put all that
air traffic?
Yes,
and improving travel by air and by rail.
Particularly the rail, the surface and trams and all that, they are there. Why don't we channel some of the national cake into it in order to promote safety? Because if you put bicycle rider, motorcycle rider, you put the one who moves the freight, the cargo truck, and you put in the omnibus, the commercial passenger bus operators, and you add cars and you add pedestrians, the mix becomes so copious that, and already we already have problem with discipline. There are people who are naturally indisciplined and will like to commit when there is a least opportunity. When you have it like that and everything is on the road, there is always likelihood of conflict.
We need to wrap up.
And that's why
I'm afraid we don't have quite a lot of time. But Mr. Gabra, what DSP Obing is saying is that we need to, as a country, perhaps look at diversifying travels so that we lift the pressure from the road onto part of the pressure onto rail and perhaps airline. You think this is a good strategy to reduce road carnage?
That is perfect. Okay, when I listened to the President, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, saying that he has appointed a minister for railways, I was so happy, because if you go back to look at the system that we have, that's a transportation system, you ask yourself, why do we have only 99% on roads? Meanwhile, you go to a country like Netherlands, they have used all the lands that they have in creating ways for trams, railway system, and then the air system. But in Ghana, we have everything. Why are we not using it? If you roll back to Kwame Nkrumah's time,
perhaps we don't have money because we have land.
Well, we need to put in money. We need to get money for it. If you even look at the ringway, which we all see, and you ask yourself, why do we have that big island? Kwame Nkrumah had a good purpose. That island must be used for the tram system, and then must be used for a railway system, if it's possible, to carry what goods and services, so that after all, we reduce the pressure on the roads.
Mr. Gabra and DSP Obing, I'm grateful for all the very brief